Hey guys, Joe of the Joe Madden Sports Podcast here, joined this afternoon by Rachel Vigil, host and digital producer for is it 1043 The Fan? 1043 The Fan. I want to say 1043 The Fan. It's not it.
104 through the fan. You got it correct there.
1043
Yep.
The Fan. There you go. Rachel, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. It's an honor to have you on here. I'm so excited to talk some sports with you.
I'm stoked. There's so much to be talking about, especially when you look at Denver sports. So hit me with all your questions. I'm ready.
Well, before we jump into that, let's talk about how you got in this industry, because this is a very different industry for most people. Most people don't grow up thinking that this is a role. You have your doctors, your lawyers, your nurses. How did you get into talking sports, Rachel?
Yeah, so it actually goes back to the age of 10, and I went to my first Broncos game. And from that moment on, I was like, I want to be involved with sports. I really wanted to play football, but I was like, there's no way I'm going to ever make my career in the NFL for obvious reasons, being 5'4" at 120 pounds. So I was like, okay, what's the next best thing? And I was like, being a sideline reporter. I see a lot of female faces doing that. So I knew pretty much from then on that I wanted to be involved in sports. Things have changed a lot too. I see myself in different roles than what I thought I wanted to be in. But pretty much I went into high school knowing that. I shadowed so many different people in the industry in high school, knew throughout college I wanted to. So I got involved really early on and just kind of worked my way up. And it's been the absolute best time. It takes so much work, but it is seriously the best job in the world.
That is fantastic to hear. It's amazing how one football game has shaped your whole life. Do you remember who Denver was playing in that game, or who you were at the game with?
I couldn't tell you who they were playing, but I was with my dad, and I can tell you that it was pouring rain so much that my dad and I had to put our feet in plastic bags and then put the shoes on. Otherwise, our feet were going to be completely like soaking wet. So it's weird to think back on that moment. I remember both of us hiding underneath the bridge. It was pouring rain, and my dad's like, put your feet in these because we don't want our socks and like our feet to get wet. Otherwise, we're going to freeze out here. So that's like my biggest memory of that day. But it's so much fun. And yeah, it's just crazy to think about. It was only 16 years ago for me, but it literally has like transformed my entire life into what it is now.
And I love how that story isn't a typical story of it just being like a beautiful day at the field. This was a rain out day, and you're like, this is what I want to do, something that involves this kind of lifestyle. That is fantastic to hear. So, huge Denver Broncos fan. Does that run in the family then?
Yes, it does. Yeah, my family has season tickets, so for as long as I've been around, they've had tickets, and yeah, huge fans. It's weird now though that I've like been in it. I'm obviously still a fan, but it changes when you work in it. So I'm more of a fan of good people and less of teams anymore, I feel like. But my family, yeah, complete diehard Bronco fans, watch every game. They're fully invested.
Well, I'm a Chargers fan, have to warn you. So we definitely will be playing each other this season. It's going to be a really hard division, Rachel.
It's going to be tough. I can't believe the AFC West. I mean, seriously, every single time during free agency, I felt like I was turning on the news and it was something about the AFC West. So I'm really excited. Yeah, the Charger Bronco matchup is definitely going to be a good one. I'm excited to see what Justin Herbert can do too. But having Russell Wilson in Denver has completely transformed what the Broncos have looked like. I mean, we went from being bland, being like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're going into another year of a quarterback battle, whatever it was going to be. We were hopeful we were going to get Aaron Rodgers. That ends up not happening. We're all bummed out here. And then all of a sudden, like 2 hours later, we get this huge news bomb that Russell Wilson is being traded to the Denver Broncos. And it was by far one of the craziest days I've ever experienced working in the industry.
Yeah, absolutely. It was one place I did not see Russell Wilson going, was the Broncos, but now he's there. It looks like it's going to be a fantastic fit. What is the buzz around him? What are people feeling?
Oh, people are so excited. It's Super Bowl or bust. That's the mentality. I don't think the Broncos can win the Super Bowl this year. There's too many moving parts with a new head coach, new coaching system, and of course, Russell Wilson coming in. But the buzz is all about him, right? He is the king of Denver. He shows up to the Avs games, to the Nuggets games, whatever it was, and the crowd would get extra loud for Russell Wilson. They're calling him the king of Denver sports right now, and it's definitely true. Sierra also being the queen of Denver sports. We love the duo being here in Denver.
Yeah, how can you not? She is one of those NFL wives that really is a model in the industry. She's everything positive about being an NFL wife. So I love to see that, everything that she's doing for society as well.
No, absolutely. And I think what's really cool about her, and Russ actually does a really good job, is he really pumps her up, right? Like
Yeah.
she's actually the star of the family, not taking anything away from Russ, but like she's literally a superstar. She's a pop star and
Yeah.
she is like the number one in the family, and Russ is kind of almost the number two, and that's something you don't see a lot in the NFL, but Russ really owns it, and he like always talks about her. He's always showing her off, and I think that's really cool because you don't always see that when it comes to NFL players or even athletes just in general.
Yeah, absolutely. They seem to have an incredible family there. So definitely a family with good morals for your Denver Broncos. So I'm happy to see that for you guys. Let's talk about the Colorado Avalanche. We know Russell's been there supporting. This is a pivotal game tonight. We have game 4 here tonight. In my opinion, if Colorado can pull off the win, I think they hoist the cup game 5 in Colorado. What would it mean for you as a fan, for the city, for that to happen in Colorado?
First of all, I've been secretly hoping that it would go to a game 5. Not that I ever really wanted them to win. Like, I obviously wanted the sweep because that would just be crazy for their legacy. But also, like, for like my own personal stance, I'm like, I want to be there so bad. I want the fans in Denver to be at Ball Arena when they do hoist the cup. I think that no matter what, they're going to walk away. I don't know if that makes me sound cocky or not, but I just think this is the year for the Avs. Obviously, Tampa Bay is a crazy good opponent, so I shouldn't get too ahead of myself. But like you said, I think if they win tonight, which is a huge game, Nazem Kadri is going to be back in too, which is going to be insane. But I think if they can pull off the win tonight, that they do win it on Friday here at Ball, and it would mean everything to the city. They've completely bought into this Avalanche team. We hear a lot about how Denver's such a Broncos town, right? But we're seeing them become Avalanche fans. We're seeing all the younger generations get on this hockey train, and it's been so much fun. I would love to be able to go out in Denver afterwards and see where the cup ends up and everything like that. It would mean so much to the city of Denver, who's just been in such a drought for what feels like forever now.
Yeah, absolutely. So game 5, are you going? Will you be there if they're hosting?
I will be in attendance for game 5. Yes. So I can't even begin to tell you how excited I am, but they have to win tonight. So that's going to be like the main key, is having to get everything done in game 4.
Absolutely. Now, we know I'm looking at them to win. I really do think they win this tonight. I do think they win game 5 and hoist the cup. But if by chance Tampa pulls this off, we know home ice has been huge between these two. Do you think they have a better chance of winning at home in game 7 or game 6 in Tampa?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say game 7. So what's interesting about it is this game 3 was the only game that they've lost on the road this season. They've been, or in the playoffs, and they've been a phenomenal road team, even more so than they've been at home. But I just think going into that sort of environment with the back-to-back defending Stanley Cup champs for a game 6, I think it would be a really, really tough place to play. And, there's even more momentum for a game 6 than there is in game 4, which is tonight. Yeah. So I just think it would be a lot tougher of an environment, which is why I really lean towards a game 7. I personally don't know if my heart can take a game 7, so I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. But regardless, it's going to be a fun series. I've been telling people buckle up because we're just getting in kind of the like nitty-gritty parts of it.
Absolutely. It's going to be a fantastic game tonight. I have to ask your thoughts on Darcy Kuemper, your goalie. Do you have faith in him? Because I do have faith in him. We know he's not up to the same level as Andrei Vasilevskiy, but I say that with a grain of salt because Vasilevskiy is just on his own level. Darcy Kuemper still is absolutely fantastic. What is the support for him like there?
It's funny. So I do my own daily digital show. It's called Coffee Break. So we've got different guests on. It's a 30-minute show that runs every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Mountain Time. And it's been a hot topic, right? It seems like all playoffs we've been talking about kind of this. Do you go with Francouz or do you go with Darcy Kuemper? And after what we saw in game 3, I was hesitant to put Darcy Kuemper back in the net, but I almost feel like you have to. Otherwise, your team kind of goes into a panic mode. Not saying that Francouz is a bad goalie by any means, but I think that if Tampa Bay was able to put up 4 goals on Francouz being the backup, then they're like, all right, well, we didn't trust Darcy enough. We don't trust Francouz enough. We're in trouble because we've got no one else, right? So I think you almost have to go with Darcy. If he lets in 3-4, then you make the change and you hope that Francouz can save the day. But I've got coworkers who are like, why are we not putting in the guy who so far in the playoffs is undefeated? And we're going back to somebody who is clearly struggling a little bit since he got that eye injury. Yeah. So I see both points of it. And I'm kind of torn between both, but I do think if I was Jared Bednar, I think I would go with Francouz and put him in because he has not lost a game so far in this playoffs run. But I also see the Darcy Kemper side of it. So I'm like 50-50. I feel like I can talk myself into either way sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope Darcy Kemper has a fantastic night tonight. It's got to be hard for him mentally. Everyone says he's the weakest link of the Colorado Avalanche. So I don't know how you get that out of your head. I think a little bit of that has to play into his nerves stepping on that ice because it must feel like the weight of the world on his shoulders going into this. Who are you looking for to have a phenomenal night tonight on the Avs?
Who I think Nathan MacKinnon has to have a big one. Nazem Kadri is supposedly going to be back out on the ice too, which would be great. He just had thumb surgery a few weeks ago, so this would be major. And I think just his energy coming back out on the ice will definitely raise this team up. We saw it in the Edmonton series too, when he got hit by Evander Kane, we just saw a next level of this Colorado Avalanche when they went in and finished off the series. We saw it in the Blues series as well after he dealt with all the racist remarks. He came in, put up a hat trick. I just think that they're going to bring their next level if Kadri is out there. It hasn't been confirmed by any means from Jared Bednar, but there are rumors going out that he will play tonight. So we're hopeful. I think he would have a fantastic game. I don't think we would see a ton of him because he does still have a broken thumb. He just literally got surgery on it, and you need your thumb to play hockey. But I also think that Nathan MacKinnon needs to really have a big game tonight. He's kind of been a little quiet in this series. So I think it's time for him to step up and prove why he should be labeled as one of the best players in the NHL.
Absolutely. I'm looking for him to have a big game as well. Well, Rachel, thank you so much for joining me here on the Joe Madden Sports Podcast. Can you let everyone know where to find you on socials, where to tune in and listen to your show, and anything that you're talking about this week that you want to promote?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I mentioned, we've got Coffee Break, which is 10:30 every single weekday, and it's on all of 104.3 The Fan social pages. You can follow me on my own personal ones too at Hey Rachel Vigil. And then you can also follow me on TikTok too. I actually show more of a girly side of my life on TikTok, talking about fashion and beauty and life hacks and stuff over there. And that's at Rachel _Vigil_. We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. We're hoping that the Avs do hoist the trophy here on Friday night. So we've got a lot of fun content coming up. And then we've got the NBA draft tomorrow too. So lots of fun stuff on the horizon. And of course, all the Denver Bronco coverage you could possibly want. DenverFan.com, worth checking out.
Awesome. Rachel, thank you so much. Keep killing it in the industry. I love your shows. I love everything that you have going on. Definitely be tuning in.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you so much again for having me. It was so much fun.
Oh, it was my honor. Thank you, Rachel. Have a great day.
You too.
Thank you.